If you are receiving supplemental security income, you may have noticed something unusual for May 2026. Two separate payments are scheduled to arrive. That might feel confusing, especially if you're not sure why there would be two deposits in 1 month or whether you are expected to spend both. Today, we are going to go through exactly how these May payments work in plain English. No complicated formulas, no government jargon, just a clear explanation of what is happening, why it happens, and what you should consider when thinking about how to use these funds. I am Andrew, and I have gone through the official SSA guidelines on supplemental security income payments for 2026. Everything I explain here comes directly from SSA.gov and related official notices. Before we get into the details, if you appreciate straightforward, plain language explanations about Social Security and Medicare rules, subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week we break down one benefit topic clearly and calmly. Now let's talk about these May SSI payments. The most common misunderstanding about receiving two SSI payments in May is that both payments are extra money you can spend immediately. That makes sense. Seeing two deposits in your bank account naturally feels like a bonus. But in reality, the first payment is the regularly scheduled May benefit, and the second is an advance that technically counts toward the June payment. According to SSA's official guidelines, it is not a second month's benefit. Spending both without understanding this could lead to confusion about your available funds for June. We are going to go through exactly how this schedule works, why it happens, and how to plan around it so your finances stay clear and predictable. To make this concrete, consider someone like Walter. Walter is 67 years old, lives in New Mexico, and has been receiving SSI for several years. Walter saw two deposits in his bank in May 2026, $914 on the 1st and $914 again on the 20th. He initially thought he had a sudden windfall of $1,228. In reality, the first payment was his regular May SSI, and the second was an advance of his June SSI, sent early because the 1st of June falls on a weekend. Walter's bank balance reflected $1,928, but only $914 was actually intended for May expenses. Understanding the timing prevents mistakes, such as budgeting for June before the month even begins. This exact situation happens frequently for SSI recipients when the 1st of a month falls on a weekend or federal holiday. Let us start with the foundation: what supplemental security income is and how it is paid. According to the SSA's official program guidelines at ssa.gov, SSI is a federal benefit designed to help people who are 65 or older, blind or disabled, and who have limited income or resources. The standard payment is set each month based on your living situation and other income. For 2026, the federal maximum is $914 for an individual and $1,371 for a couple, though most people receive slightly less depending on state supplements or partial income counts. Normally, SSI is paid once per month. Payments are generally scheduled for the 1st of each month. However, if the 1st falls on a weekend or federal holiday, the SSA will issue the payment on the preceding business day. This shift can sometimes create the appearance of two payments in 1 month. Why two payments happen in May 2026? Now that we understand the payment schedule, we can look at May 2026 specifically. May's situation is unusual but predictable. The first May payment goes out on the 1st, which is standard. The second payment, which arrives later in the month, is actually an early payment for June. According to SSA guidelines, Social Security Act Section 1611, the SSA may send the next month's payment early if the standard date would otherwise fall on a weekend or holiday. In 2026, this scheduling results in both May and June amounts appearing in May, but the second payment is not an additional benefit. It counts toward your June expenses. You might be wondering, does this second payment mean my total annual benefit increases? The answer is no. It simply shifts the timing. Your total annual SSI remains the same. Walter, for example, receives $914 for May and $914 for June, but the bank shows both in May. How to plan around two payments. This next part is where it gets more specific. How to handle budgeting when two payments arrive. The rule of thumb from the SSA is to treat the second payment as prepayment for the next month. For most recipients, that means setting aside the second amount for June. Many people find it useful to move the advance into a separate account or earmark it for regular monthly expenses, such as rent, utilities, or groceries. In Walter's case, he noted $914 as available for May bills and allocated the second $914 to cover June, preventing overspending. Exceptions and special cases. And finally, this is the piece that ties everything together. Exceptions. This applies in most cases. The main exceptions are people who receive SSI combined with other benefits, such as SSDI or veterans benefits, where the total combined payment may arrive differently. Additionally, if you have state supplements that follow a slightly different schedule, the exact dates can vary. Always check your official SSA notice, which specifies the exact deposit dates. Cross-benefit connection. One thing worth understanding about SSI timing is how it connects to Social Security retirement benefits. If you receive both SSI and Social Security, and the SSA adjusts your monthly Social Security benefit due to retroactive payments or cost of living adjustments, it can slightly change the total funds available in a given month. This is not a warning, just a piece of complete financial context that helps recipients avoid surprises and understand why certain months might feel larger or smaller. Before we finish, let me answer 3 questions that come up most often about SSI double payments. Question 1. Why do I sometimes see 2 SSI deposits in one month? Answer. As explained, it usually happens when the first of the next month falls on a weekend or holiday, so the SSA sends the next month's payment early. Question 2. Can I spend both payments immediately? Answer. Only the first payment is intended for the current month. The second is an advance for the next month, so it's best to plan for it as June's funds. Question 3. Does this affect my total annual SSI? Answer. No. The total amount you receive in a year does not change. The timing just shifts slightly. Everything we covered today applies generally, but your specific situation may have details that change how these rules apply. The most reliable ways to get your exact answer are ssa.gov. Log into your My Social Security account to see your exact payment schedule. 1-800-772-1213. Ask the SSA representative for your specific month-by-month payments. SHIP counselors, free Medicare and benefits guidance if you also have health coverage questions. These resources are official and provide answers specific to you. One factual note before we finish. The SSA communicates by mail, not by phone, text, or email demanding payment. You can verify any SSA notice by calling 1-800-772-1213 directly. I am curious, did the explanation about the May double payment clear up your confusion? Share your questions in the comments. That is the May 2026 double SSI payment explained as clearly as I can put it. If this video was useful, share it video with like, subscribe, and who received an overpayment notice and did not know they had options. I am Andrew. Channel subscribe, latest news. I will see you in the next video one.